There we go. How about that? There we go. How about that? Okay, we are live. Awesome. Okay. Okay, we are live. Awesome. Okay. So for those who have decided to watch the stream later, or maybe you're joining in and I just can't see you, I'm working on a pirate animation at the moment, and this is my attempt at streaming my progress. So I'm going to be working on this video over the next week or so. So I'm going to just start off with a simple stream, just because this is my first time streaming in quite a while. I don't want to do anything too elaborate. And before we get too much into the stream, I'm going to head on out real quick. We'll be right back in about a minute. I am going to grab a Mountain Dew because it is late, but I don't care. I want to animate because animating is fun. I'll be right back. Sorry about the delay, but I am back now. To be completely honest, I haven't really streamed in a long time, and um, I didn't realize that the video was going to go live straight away. I thought it'd give me like a countdown, but that's okay. So let's get started. Sorry, I'm just muting the. I'm listening to the live stream on my phone. That way I can tell what's going on. But I'm going to mute that now since I know what it sounds like now. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to turn off all the overhead lights, and I'm going to turn on my battery-powered lights and see if we need to correct the color on these lights. So these lights that I've got, you can change to a bunch of different types of colors. So we're going to experiment with that a little. I'm thinking a bit of a blue light would be a great idea. There we go. So let's see if we can get to blue. Then I've got kind of a reddish pink light, and we want blue. There we go. The light is slowly changing. It just takes a little bit. There we go. Here's a bit of a bluer light. Let's go for a deeper blue. So the part of the video we're animating at the moment does take place at night. So I am going to add a bit more of a blue tint to it to make it feel like it's darker, even though we're going to be editing a lot of that in post-production. But if you can do something before you get to post-production, you should always do it before then, because it makes it a lot easier. Let's see, so we're at 240 degrees is what we want for the light right now. There we go. Now we've got a bit of a bluer light to it to give it some more kind of a moonlight vibe is what I'm going for. And I've noticed that in the corner you can actually see, about here we can see the tape that's holding the base plate down. So we're going to actually push in our frame a little bit, move it to the left, and perfect. Now we can't see that. And you'll notice we've got some waves set up. We're going to add some green screen, even though I also made sure, because we've got a green screen up right now, the transparent wave pieces, none of them are at the edge where you can see them over the green. And as you can tell, we're actually a little bit crooked right now. So we're actually going to correct that right now. So apologies to the camera and your view for a little bit, because it is about to get a little crooked as I try to fix it. Okay. And let's tilt that back a little bit. Okay, that seems about even. Tilt the camera a little bit. There we go. Gonna have to adjust the mask around the edge a little bit now. Just gonna push that in a little bit. Go horizontal again. There we go. And that is still ever so slightly crooked. So let's work on that a little bit. I think if we tilt my tripod, let's see, we want it to go to the right. So we actually want to go down a little bit. Seems about, there we go. That's much more even. There we go. I like that. And looking at the lights, I'm pretty happy with that. So one thing I am going to be doing is, it's been a while since I've shot on a green screen. I like to have my backgrounds be practical, or even like use a computer screen as the background. But later on, the pirate ship is going to be much bigger, so it's not going to be practical to use a screen the whole time. So we're going to go with green screen. So the basic idea of what we're doing for this shot is, this is the establishing shot for my Kraken attack video. So if you don't want to see how the video turns out, I will completely understand. If you don't want to watch the stream, that is completely fine. Excuse me, just drinking some water. Stay hydrated. But yeah, so this is our establishing shot. So I'll show you how my plan works. So right here, I've got a video file that shows kind of like my plans. This is what the video is going to look like. And in fact, I'm going to unmute the audio going in right now. And if we go back to it, you can see that I've timed all of this video to music. We'll pause that now. So this allows me to know what all of my shots are. So our first one is a wide shot of the micro ship, so our small scale with a full moon. But it's on a green screen, so we don't have to worry about that right now. So we're going to check how long this shot is going to be. So it's 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Let's see, my phone's about to die, and that's how I'm seeing any comments if anyone joins the stream. So I'm going to plug that in real quick. But basically, by looking at this, I know that the shot I am working on needs to be 2 minutes, sorry, not 2 minutes, 2 seconds and 17 frames long. I'm shooting at 24 frames a second, so that's 48 plus 17. So this is about a 65 frame shot. There we go. Plugging in the phone so I can keep up with comments if we get any. There we go. Now we're all good. Everything's charging. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start taking photos so we get to the actual animating. First of all, we're going to make sure that this is completely in focus. There we go. And you'll notice the waves look pretty blurry at the moment, but that's actually going to be fine because the camera actually captures a lot more than the screen makes it look like it does. So that's not something I am too worried about. Just adjusting the waves at the moment. Yeah, let's have one about here-ish. There we go. So I think now is a good time to begin. What I'm going to do real quick is, just so the stream's a little more entertaining. Actually, no, I was going to add music. I'm not going to do it for this round because I do need to start animating and it is getting late and I do want to get some work done tonight. So I'll just get to animating. Maybe I'll try and add some music tomorrow. So let's get to beginning. There we go. So what we're going to do is we want the boat to end up in the middle of the shot. So we're going to have it start, start a little bit further back. There we go. And we're going to have it move very slowly forward. Before though, I keep forgetting a few things I need to start before the video, is we're going to do, just to double check our camera settings here, which I believe you can see on the right. Okay, you can see that. Just want to make sure. So right here we've got shutter speed, which at the moment is pretty low. So I'm going to see if we can adjust this a little bit. Because while we do want to darken the image, we don't want the image to be so dark that we can't see. It's easier for me to darken it at the end. It's hard to add more light and it look good. So there we go. We've got a bit more of a shot now. So I'm just going to make sure it's nice and in focus. Looks good to me. So I'm going to lock the focus in. Try to. There we go. Switches in. And you'll notice that we've still got actually a little bit of tape visible in the corner. So we're going to slide again ever so slightly to the right. There you go. And since this shot, I'm just going to double check my math. I believe it's 65 frames, but I want to double check because you don't want to be animating and take the wrong amount of photos. Let's see, so we got 48 plus 17 frames, 65, yep. So I've double checked that. And let's begin taking some photos. Okay, I'm getting distracted. Let's see. Just gonna get some caffeine real quick and then we'll take some photos. I apologize for anyone watching the stream afterwards. It is awkward doing a stream. I will get there eventually. I will figure it out. But for those, for some reason, if you do decide to watch this later, or those who will eventually watch my streams, hopefully, thank you for sticking through with me. Gonna just change a few settings real quick. There we go. I like some of my own music, but it is copyrighted, so I'm muting the audio on here. Let's see if Spotify loads, that is. And now that I'm live streaming, it's going to inevitably like pop up with something crazy. I don't know. My address is just going to pop up and I'm going to get doxxed. Me and my one viewer. Even though I believe that the one viewer right now is myself. I'm pretty sure it's just my phone. But that's okay. That means I can't get doxxed. Oh, I'm rambling. Oh well, that's okay. There's only me right now. I am going to figure this streaming thing out. I am going to get it. I am going to get this down. Gonna make as much content as possible. That is the goal. Spotify isn't loading. It's kind of sad. Oh, here we go. And since I know you can't hear it, but if you ever wonder what kind of music I like to listen to while I'm animating, I like to listen to music that fits whatever I am animating. There we go. So, here we go. Now we can take photos. So the first thing I start off with is, oh, fell asleep. There we go. So the first thing I do is I have it capture about 20 photos because sometimes the camera is a little bit loose in its position and it slides around a little bit. So I make sure it takes a couple photos. And while it does that, it'll pop up with this warning saying, did you set up your camera how you want it? And then you click, okay, yeah, I did. And then we'll take photos for a bit. I'm going to make sure that the music isn't going through and I'm getting a copyright claim because that'd be sad. I'm going to make sure that the music isn't going through and I'm getting a copyright claim Yep, looks like we're good. I am not getting a copyright claim, so we are good to go. That's wrong. Where's the button I'm looking for? We're in Dragon. Okay. So, now it's too loud, but that's okay. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn on onion skinning, but set to difference. And you notice that there's a little bit of an outline. So we had a little bit of shadow at the beginning. That's just from, I guess, the table or the camera set into place. So we're going to shoot another 10 frames. And what we're looking for is to make sure that this white outline around the set doesn't move. I'm not going to film the whole thing this way because it's very easy to make a mistake when you can't see the colors and the individual pieces as well. But it's a very good way to start off your video and make sure that there's no lighting or something moving in the background. So now let's play it. And it is settled now, so we are good to delete these photos because obviously we want our pirate ship to be moving. And in fact, I think if we press, yeah, you can see how if I put my mouse right at the corner of this ship, when I press play, you can see that it moves ever so slightly just because the tripod is selling. I really should get a weight for my tripod to hold it in place, but I don't have one right now. So we're just going to do this how it is. Okay, so now time for actual photos. That's photo number 1. And now we move all of the waves. And to make sure I don't lose the place that I am in with the waves and make sure that I actually move all the waves, we're going to move the waves furthest, closest to me, and then work my way going forward. There we go. Wave number 3. Wave number 4. Now granted, we are filming at 24 frames a second, so these waves might move a little fast. So what I might do is actually only move them every other frame, just so the waves aren't going by like a thundering typhoon, because that's not exactly what I'm going for. Then we're going to push the boat ever so slightly forward. Let's see how that looks. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. It just moved a little bit further away from us, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to nudge it ever so slightly towards us like that. And that should look much better. There we go. And frame 2. And since this is an odd frame, we are not going to move the waves. We're going to just let them be and move them every other frame. Otherwise, I feel like, I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to look at that again. Tossing between whether I want the waves to come across as fast but smooth or slower but a little choppy. I'm feeling every other frame might look pretty good. So we're just going to have the Brickbeard's bounty move forward a little bit more. Ooh, that's a little bit too much. We want to move it a little less. There we go. There we go. That's much better. And now since we're on a even frame again, we're going to move the waves once more. Starting with the ones closest. Working our way up. reach for the last wave now. See how the shot looks now. And while we don't have that many photos yet, I'm going to play it through, see how it looks. Oh, that looks pretty good. No, it's not much of a shot yet, but I'm liking the look of it. I know I could try and make the flag at the top wave, but the mast is not very stable, and I'd rather have it be still than have the flag wave and the sails be like jumping up and down because I keep accidentally moving the mast. So I'm going to have the flag stay still for this shot. But later we'll have a close-up of the actual pirate flag, of the Jolly Roger, and we'll have a nice shot of the flag waving then. There we go. Now onto an even frame, so let's move our waves once more. And as the video goes, we'll have to add in a few more waves, because we don't want to make it that waves go by and then there's no new waves. And I just realized I went back on my order. I did not do them in order of distance away from me, but I'll still make sure that we've got all the waves out. There we go. Final wave over here. And speaking of having waves, new ones coming in, I'm gonna grab some more of my transparent studs and figure out where I can add it and it won't mess with the image. So I'm gonna feel it out a little bit. I think about there. Let's see. No. Yeah, because right there we can actually see it coming in. So we're going to move it back, I think, 3 more studs. Yeah, we're going to move it back 3 more studs to about here. Let's see how that looks. Yep, that works. Okay, so we've got the waves moving. Just got to move our pirate ship now. Ever so slightly. Not too much. Ooh, that might be a little too much, actually. Let's see. I might try to move that back just a little bit, because I want the pirate ship to start off pretty slow. It'll speed up later in the video, but this is not that moment. Okay, odd number frames, so now we just have to move the pirate ship. There we go. Now we're back to moving waves again. Go. So for those of you who have been watching my shorts, you'll notice, you might remember that a while ago I made a post, because to be completely honest, I procrastinated this project too long, but I'm working on it now. But some of you might remember that I was trying to figure out how to build Lego waves. So I ended up buying a lot of transparent Lego studs. In fact, here's a bag of all of them all together. So I don't know how many of them I'll end up using in this video, but it's definitely helpful to have like a couple hundred of them. And they're pretty cheap to get too. Yep, now we're going to move the pirate ship forward ever so slightly. Let's see. Comparing frames. I'm liking where it's going. Odd number, so now we just moved the pirate ship. One thing I'm really hoping is that I've balanced the light correctly so that when we get to the green screen that it's just a simple click. Because I'll be very sad if this shot doesn't end up working. And I just realized I've got someone commenting. Oh, it's great to see you, Hamrita. It's awesome to have you here. Yes, at the moment you are the only one watching this. I am animating the stop motion, and the reason is sleep is something that can wait, because I want to get this video done. Not sure if you're still there, but thank you for stopping by the stream. Yeah, it's good to see you. Now I got distracted, but that's okay. I've got to get used to this live streaming. We are moving the waves now. But yeah, so this is a upcoming pirate animation that I'm working on. So this is going to be the Kraken attacks is what I'm working on. My goal is to have this video done by... I'd like to have it out Monday or Tuesday next week would be the goal, because there's actually a contest being held by the store Bricks and Minifigs, like a summer animation contest, and the deadline is next week on Thursday. And there's really cool prizes for it. And even if I can't, like, I don't know how many people are entering it, so I don't know if it's one of those things like 5 people entered or like 500. But either way, the prizes are cool, and I just enjoy doing this, so I'm going to try and enter that contest. There we go. Move the pirate ship forward. And there we go. Okay, and now we're back to a odd frame, so we can just move the pirate ship. And with the amount of frames that we've taken, we are almost 1/6 of the way through this. Oh, 1/5, I think, almost, of this shot. But that's okay. I believe this video's got about, I want to say just under 80 or just over 80 shots I'm going to animate. However, I had to do a lot of setting up today, so that put me a little bit behind my initial idea for a schedule. But also, not all of the shots are this tedious. Some of them are complicated, but I'm not moving a gazillion Lego studs for each shot. So hopefully, I'll be able to speed up as we go. And the fact that it's like an action sequence for a lot of it means that a lot of my shots are pretty short in this movie, because whenever you're shooting action, you tend to do short, quick shots, because it's very hard to make action look good in a long shot. There we go. I'm going to move it forward just a tad. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so far we've got about half a second of footage. It's rocking a little bit, but there's waves, so I feel like that's a pretty natural look. I'm very happy with how this is looking. I've got a feeling at this rate that it might exit the frame at the beginning, but that's okay. That will work for a establishing shot. So let's see, we're moving them on the even frames. So that means for this shot, we just have to move the pirate ship again. There we go. Did I move it too much that time? I did. Let's move it back just a tad. Oh, no worries. I completely understand if you need to go and read it. I'm glad that you stopped by, though. I was a little worried that I wasn't going to have anyone stop by, so I appreciate it very much. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you're at. See ya. Have a good one. And remember that God is good. Okay. Even frame. Back to moving the waves again. There we go. Oops. Fell over a little bit there. Let's see how it looks. frame. Move it a little bit sideways, but I think that'll add to the nice look of making the waves look like they're a lot more boisterous. Well, it's not meant to be like they're in the middle of a storm. The sea's never really completely calm, so I think that that'll look good. Okay, just gonna move it forward a little bit more again. Okay, we've got 50 more photos to take for this shot, and then we're on to the next one. I think I'm going to add some new waves again, just because I want to make sure that we never get to the point where there's no waves on the screen. And given that the waves appear at the edge of the screen, we have to plan ahead and make sure the waves actually appear at the right time. I'm going to add another one about... No, let's add another 2. Make it nice and fancy. So just going to make sure is that spot where they can see the stud. Does that just appear? I don't know. Yes. So we need about 4 studs back. 1, 2, 3, and 4. See how that one looks. Yep, that looks good, like that. There we go. I'm going to add another one up here. Go a little closer like that. Just make sure that it's not too visible. It is, so we're going to add... I'll put it back. Let's go. We got 1 stud will actually appear pretty quickly, and I think I'll like that look. I'm trying not to have the waves appear in line with the pirate ship, because I'm afraid that'll move it too much. This is slightly forward. Okay. There we go. I think he moves quite a bit there. I guess it's a boat. Technically, it's a she, I guess. I don't know who decided that. How do you decide it with inanimate objects? Like, if it's a vehicle, and it's especially if it's a vehicle you like, it's a she. Like, if it's a vehicle you don't like, do you call it a he? Like, I don't know. What was I rambling about? Oh, yeah. All that to say, I accidentally moved the boat. But I think we're good. Now I'm moving the waves, and I believe, yeah, the one I'm grabbing right now is actually already exited the frame. So we can pull that wave apart, and that's 2 less waves we have to move. Just double checking something. Okay, so all the waves now are actually on camera. So you gotta keep these ones moving. There we go. See how it's looking. Oh, I'm liking the look of this. Yeah, I am very happy with this opening shot. Doing the waves moving every other frame was definitely the right call. Otherwise, those waves would be flying. That would be a very bad storm. So that is the right call. See how that looks. I think I moved it a little bit too much. So I'm going to move it back just a tad. There we go. Can move it forward again. That should look good. Ooh, that is way too much. Moving that fast. There we go. After this photo, we will have made a second of footage. It's only been, I have no clue how long this has been, but it takes a while. Thankfully, though, most of this video does not involve just mindlessly putting Lego studs forward to make waves. Although it looks really cool, so I regret nothing. I'm just glad that for most of the video, we're on the pirate ship and not on the outside. Otherwise, this would take forever, and I would never sleep again. There we go. Probably should move the pirate ship. There we go. I think for the sake of being able to call it by its name, I'm going to call it... The correct name of the pirate ship is the Brickbeard's Bounty. I'm just going to call it the Bounty because that's a long name. But yeah, so there we go. The pirate ship's name is the Bounty. And we have made 1 second of footage. There we go. Let's have a look at how that looks. There we go. So what I'm probably going to do is, just because this is more of like a practice live stream of future live streams while I'm animating or maybe building things. because I know a lot of you know my channel because of my daily builds. But since it's like a practice run, I think what I'm going to do is once I finish the first shot, we'll end the stream, except we're going to edit the first one first, just because I want to make sure that we've got the lighting set up correct and that we can actually green screen this without it breaking the footage. Because I've made videos before where it required testing the green screen a little bit. But this is a pretty clear shot with not a lot of blurry movement. So I feel like that Fillmore should be able to edit the green out of this pretty easily. And if anyone's like, oh, you can just like edit it out frame by frame, I am not going to do that, because this video is going to be like 3 minutes long, and I am not editing around the ladders and the rigging for every single shot. So we're doing green screen, and if for some reason that doesn't work, I might make the background, or I might put a TV or a computer screen behind it. But my goal is that the background for all of these shots, except for maybe one particular scene that I have in mind, I want to use the green screen in the back and utilize being able to change the environment. But there's one shot in particular, for those of you who have seen my Spider-Man fight scene, and also my Christmas movie, Emmanuel, you'll know that I like to do shots in front of the moon, and I use a screen for those ones, like a computer screen, because it makes it so that the moon shines actual light, and I really like that effect. So it's kind of like my favorite shot to do. So if a video can do it for some reason, I feel like one of the waves went backwards. Just double checking, because I'd feel awful if I was animating and then I'm like, wait a minute, one of my shots went backwards. One of the waves went backwards. One thing I'm noticing is we're getting a lot of green light reflected right here. So I'm hoping that it just edits out the green up here and not, for some reason, the green that's reflecting down here. If it does, I think I should be able to fix it. But I'd rather not have to fix anything and that it just works. But we shall see. We're not going to worry about it until we get there. Ah, it's moved a little too much there. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to make sure that wave is still visible just a little bit. So I'm going to move it forward a couple more times. The waves behind the bounty now, which is making it a little tricky to move the wave without moving the boat a little bit, but that's okay. So we've got onion skinning, and we can tell if the boat's been moved the wrong way. Let's have a look. Man, that actually turned out really well. It's like a really, yeah, I'm happy with that. Move it forward just a little bit. Let's take another look at how the shot's looking. Oh, I am very happy with that. That is looking nice, if I do say so myself. I realized with how I said nice at first, it's like, oh wow, look at me, I'm so amazing. All you have to do is spend like 5 seconds on YouTube and you just like, your self-esteem gets destroyed. It's like, wow, there are people that can animate way better than me. But that's not the point. We're making fun stuff because I get to enjoy doing this and I love what I do. It's not about being the best. But it's okay. We will get there. I will learn more. And I am going to be the best that I can be. Late night motivation with Kris Komedies. Okay. Okay, so we are on to an even frame. So that means time to move some waves. I'm going to start with the one behind the bounty, because that's the one that makes me the most nervous. And I know it would be very easy to just not move the wave when it's behind the bounty. But you never know how the reflections on the bricks might look. Sometimes you can see things that you didn't think you could see until you're editing it. And then also, by animating the wave that's behind the bounty, once the bounty actually passes by, the wave will be in the correct spot already because I've been moving the wave the whole time. As much of a pain as it is. There you go. It always pays to be thorough. Obviously, if you can do something to simplify the process, that's good. But as a general rule, cutting corners doesn't really do you a favor. And I really want this video to look good. Not just because I'm trying to enter it in a contest, but also because I like my videos to look good, and I'm trying to get better. Plus, I'm also teaching stop motion now. And I feel like if I'm going to teach it, I should probably actually follow the advice that I tell my kids. If you'd ever like to take one of my classes, you can head to Bricks and Minifigs in Springfield, Missouri. Excuse me, got a hiccup there. And I teach their stop motion classes there. So if you live in the Springfield, Branson area in Missouri, stop by Bricks and Minifigs in Springfield. One, if you just want to buy a Lego, because the place is really cool. And also because I teach classes there. So if you'd like to learn from me, I would love to see you there. Also, this was not sponsored. I like to have as many people as possible in my classes. And two, I really like Bricks and Minifigs. It's not just because they employ me. I genuinely do think they're cool. Hashtag not sponsored, but I am hoping to get some sponsors soon as the channel grows. And to be fair, Bricks and Minifigs actually did let me borrow the pirate ship for this video, so that kind of counts as a sponsorship in my book. So hashtag kinda sponsored, but not really, but kind of. Either way, they're really cool. Go to Bricks and Minifigs, buy some Lego. It's cool. Man, I ramble a lot when it's late at night. Early in the morning, depending how you look at it. There we go. Time to move the bounty. There we go. For a split second, I was worried after I got kind of rambly for a bit that that'd be the one moment where someone would join in the stream and they'd be like, wow, this guy does not know what he's doing. But aside from Amrita joining earlier in the stream, I think it's just me now again. Okay, up to even frame again. Time to get back to waves. I'm going to add some new waves again. Thinking another 2. I'm worried if I add too many waves at a time, it'll start to look like it's very stormy, and that is not the vibe I'm going for. Okay, is this a spot where I can start a wave? Is that too obvious? Okay, I'm going to move that down 2 studs. Well, I guess technically 3. If we're going to be technical. There we go. That'll look good. So we've got a new wave right there. And I'd like to have a new wave forming up near the top. Think about here. Is that a spot that works? Okay, I've got to move that back 1 stud. There we go. I don't think for the remainder of the video I should need to add too many more waves. I might add another 2 or 3 waves, but I think as far as introducing new waves, we're getting towards the end on that. After this one, we're going to check to see that the green screen is working well and playing nice with my editing software, and if it is, that'll be awesome, because then that means I get to keep this shot and I don't have to do it again. This is taking a long time, so I really would rather not have to repeat it. I'm pretty sure that this wave is out of view now, so I'm gonna take that wave out and then just double check. Yeah, it's out of view now. Time to move the bounty. Just a little bit. There we go. Okay, let's take another look at how the shot's looking. I am very happy with this so far. Yeah, that's gonna work. I got a good feeling about this video, my friends. There we go. Let's see if that moved it too much. I think that's good. Like that. The quality of the stream turns out good enough. I'm hoping to, because every day this week I'm going to be working on this video. Hopefully not as late as I am right now. Nah, I can't do it that way. I will get sick if I do that. It's fun to do an all-nighter sometimes, but even tonight I'm not going to do an all-nighter, and it is not healthy to do that a lot. As much as a night owl as I am, I know that I do need some sleep. So I'm hoping, see, I've got classes that I'm teaching. It takes a bit of a drive for me to get back home. So I'm hoping maybe about church tomorrow, but maybe Thursday and Friday, starting the streams at around 8 p.m. I think would be cool. That is not a time commitment, by the way. That's just what I'm hoping to do. I'm still very new to streaming. So we'll see how that goes. But that's my goal of what I'd like to do. There we go. Let's inch the bounty a little further forward. I think it's a little bit too far forward that it's moved. There we go. There we go. Oh man, that didn't move very much at all in this frame, but I kind of like that. That'll add a little bit of randomness to it. Make the water seem a little choppy again. This is an even frame. Got just over 20 photos left to take for this shot, and hopefully we can put it in, see how it looks. And the goal is that for the background of this shot, is I'd like it to be a full moon behind it, kind of like outlining the pirate ship. It doesn't have to be that, it's just what I'd like to do. But we shall see. One thing I'm going to be completely upfront about is, I can't remember exactly when I first heard someone talking about this, but they're talking about in the animations how they didn't worry too much about the position of the moon to be consistent. They just did whatever looked coolest for the shot. And especially when you're doing something like animations on YouTube, I think that that is a completely good idea, like a completely reasonable idea. Is like, yes, you want to keep consistency good and want to keep positions correct, like for your characters and positions of like the set and all that. But if you move the moon or the stars or the sky around a little bit so you can get really cool backgrounds for your shots, as long as it's clear what's going on, I think that's completely fine. There we go. I know you can't hear the music since I've got it muted for copyright reasons. But the Tortuga theme from Pirates of the Caribbean just went on, and now I feel like I need to start, like, doing a pirate jig. But no time for pirate jigs. We've got animating to do. So many Lego studs. But it looks cool, so it is worth it, and I just bumped the bounty, but that's okay. That's what onion skinning's for. Yeah, I believe I bumped it a little like that, so let's do that. See how that looks. Oh, it went backwards. Okay, yeah, we gotta put the bounty further forward. You can't have the pirate ship going backwards. That wouldn't make any sense. Okay, it moved a little bit towards the camera, so I'm gonna try to correct that a little bit. There we go. I think like that ought to fix it. Okay, so now it's just going too far forward, so we just pull it back a little bit. There we go. Crisis averted. It looks good again. Okay. Odd frames, so we don't have to worry about moving the waves. There we go. Okay, even frames, so back to moving the waves again. Now move the bounty forward just a tad. Let's see how it's looking. I think we actually need to move it a little bit further forward. Plus, I think it changed angles a little bit on us. Being able to see the previous photo I've taken is very, very helpful. Yeah. Bumped it a little bit. There we go. Let's have a look at the screen. A little too further. A little too far. Move forward too much. There we go. I think it's kind of funny is originally my plan for this shot is the pirate ship was going to stay still and that it was just going to be waves moving around it, but I think that this actually is looking really cool. So I don't regret it. Plus it makes it a really nice establishing shot. Yeah, I like that. I'm very happy with that. It looks cool. I'm worried that with a little bit of the gaps in between bricks here, we might have a little bit of trouble with the green screen, but we will make it work. Okay, we've got about 16 photos left. Which means we only have to move the waves 8 more times. Ah, I bumped the bounty a little bit. I think I'm going to add one more wave. I believe right about there would be a good spot for a new wave. So just going to make sure that that fits in. It's a little too far forward. Let's move back about 3 studs. See how that looks now. I think that'll work. Just gotta correct the movement of the bounty. Because I accidentally bumped it back, so we're going to move it a little further forward than we have been to correct that. Oh, there we go. Not too much movement, but I like it. Oh, did I just bump the camera? I really hope not. Think we're good. That would have been really sad to bump the camera this late in the game. See how that looks. That looks good. Like that. Frame 54. I think 11 photos left now. We are getting that. that. That's a little bit too much. There we go. Even then, I think that's a little bit too much movement on the bounty. There we go. That's better. Let's see. I think it's looking good still. Pretty happy with it. I feel like the green's different enough that the green screen should work on this. Either way, it's going to be a learning experience. Even if you're working on a big project, you want to be trying new stuff. You don't want to play it safe. You want to test the limits, break new boundaries. And for any concerned parents listening, I'm talking about like breaking the boundaries of your skill levels, not of rules and like obeying your parents. So that is not Kris being like, aha, call for rebellion. Now I'm saying push the limits creatively. Push the limits creatively speaking is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so for anyone who does stop motion or any form of art, or really anything in life, yes, play it safe in the sense of like, don't wreck your projects or whatever you're working on. But you definitely want to keep pushing the boundaries of your skills, learn new things, get better at what you do. There we go. Like that should look good. Let's have a look. Pretty happy with that. Not too many photos left, then we're done with this shot. Can't wait. Thinking I might even make that my last shot of the night, or I might do a really simple one after this one. Just so I do get some sleep. Gotta have energy for tomorrow because I've got 2 Lego classes to teach. And I've got more animating to do. So I've got to have all my energy for tomorrow. Yeah, I've got a feeling these 2 waves here... Oh no, that one's still visible. This one is not. There we go. Frame 59. Oh wait, that's not a moving wave shot, so that's good there. We're up to frame 60. 6 more photos, including this one to go. The end of the first shot is in sight. Here we go. Let's see. It's still looking good. There we go. Time to move the waves for the second last time. If I do it right, that is. Go. Okay, let's have a look. I'm pretty happy with that shot. Move forward just a little bit. And this should be the last frame where we have to move the waves. Yes. Success. I'm just gonna move them just a tad. Okay, last photo. Gonna move it just a tad. Just a hair, not a tad. There we go. And let's see how it looks. I think it's looking good. Okay, so let's export it. Export movie. Okay, we want to keep 1920 by 1080, 24 frames, yes. Use push and mask and proportions, yep. Quality high, absolutely. Open movie unfinished, export. Just gonna pick the location. That was my Brick Film Rapidly All Week Long entry, which hopefully we should find out who won that, I believe, this Saturday. Okay, let's see. We want to export it into video. Let's have a look. Loading, loading, loading. Okay, let's see what the final shot looks like. Oh, I hit open. Why did it close it? I want to see it. Oh, yes. I am happy with that. We might have a little bit of problem with green light reflecting, but we will make it work because that is a pretty shot. Oh, I like that. It turned out so good. It lagged a little bit in the middle. But that... Whoa. Is that actually part of the video? Man, it's lagging really bad right now. Gotta make sure that it's not actually going back like that. Yeah, no, I think my computer's just getting overloaded trying to play a video while streaming. Yeah. So, it might not look as good on the live stream, but it actually is looking good. So what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna head to my storyboard. And now we're gonna actually save project as, and we're going to turn this into, what do I call this? I'm going to call it completion list. Basically, this shows me what shots I have finished. There we go. We create a new folder file for video files. We're going to import, and we should be able to just, should be right here for us. There we go. And I'm actually going to pause my music since I actually want to be able to see how this looks editing-wise. Okay, so you'll notice that we've got 2 lines on either side of the red. That's good. That means our shot is the exact right length. And this is what it will look like. There we go. I am very happy with that. So what I'm going to do is to test how good the green screen worked. I need to put something behind the green screen. I'm not going to put my final image there yet, just because that requires getting to the internet, and I want to just keep things here for now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to stock media, solid color, not use one of the premium ones, but what we're looking for is something really bright. So I'm thinking like pink would be good, not green, because that's already the color of the background. Yeah, so let's get, I don't know if that's pink or gray, but to me it looks kind of pink. That would work. But I think that one might work a little better. So we're going to put that behind it. And that way, when we hit remove green, if we see any of that reddish pink color, I'm sorry, I'm colorblind. I could be saying the wrong color. But that way we know if it's bleeding through. So now we're going to go to video. Looking for, I don't know why, but the green screen is listed as an AI tool. Okay, I love the program Filmora. It's really good, at least for me, for stop motion. But I love how there are so many things in here labeled AI tools that are not necessarily AI. Ooh, that's actually pretty good. There's a little bit of bleed through right there, you can see. But I think we can fix that. But let's just have a look. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is I think that some things get labeled as AI that really aren't AI. Okay, that is pretty good. So basically, for future reference, what I need to watch out for on shots is make sure that whatever is moving, it's reflecting light off the green screen. But what I can do in the meantime is basically what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do it right now because this is a long and tedious process. But basically what I'm going to do is this layer here, I'm going to duplicate it and show just the bottom layer below the boat. And what that's going to do is I'm going to put that back in the image, and it will make it so that the green here isn't affected by the chroma key, which is just the fancy word for a green screen. It can really be any color. And that will make sure that this stays nice and blue, but the sky will turn into whatever I have as the background. But yeah, so I'm going to work on that just to make sure that my video is possible in the way that I'm doing it. But for those who, if my phone's not reading who's here or who's not, for anyone who's here, thank you for watching this live stream with me. This was a bit of a test stream, so I appreciate your patience. If you're going back and watching live streams, I appreciate that too. This channel's been getting a lot of love lately. I really do appreciate it, guys. You've all been awesome. It has been a ton of fun. But all that to say, thank you. As much as people online can make you feel loved, I feel very loved right now. So I want to thank you so much for that. See you next time. And remember, God is good.